بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وعلى صحبه وعلى التابعين. Greetings and very nice to be with you again today. Today I would like to talk to you about the economic system in Islam. And the economic system in Islam is a unique system. It is not capitalism, it is not socialism. It is the Islamic economic system. And I prefer to make it an important pillar of Islam. I know that when Islam was written about, we talk about 5 pillars. The first pillar being the pronouncement of faith that God is one and that Prophet Muhammad is his last messenger. And the second pillar is prayers, and the third pillar is fasting. And traditionally the fourth pillar was zakah, and the fifth is hajj or pilgrimage. I want to expand this fourth pillar to make it really more expressive of the real intent of it. I call the fourth pillar to establish the Islamic economic system, which is built on 3 important pillars, and these are the pillar of zakah, or the act of purifying your assets and your resources. And the second one in the Islamic economic system is inheritance. As you know, we all, as we live, try to accumulate as much wealth as possible. And then we die. The question is how these assets that we have accumulated are distributed to our children and grandchildren and our heirs in an equitable and fair way. And the third pillar is the financial dealings between people in a Muslim regulated society. And we call that the la riba, or the no riba way of dealing in banking and in financial transactions. And these 3 important aspects of the financial economic system I look at as the fourth pillar of Islam. And the reason for me to say this is that we have focused so much on zakah, not only this, but we have focused so much on a small aspect of zakah, just giving to the poor, such that the real significance and importance and conceptual meaning of zakah has been taken away from it, and it become just a simple distribution that may not be as effective as it was intended to be by the Prophet, may God's peace and prayers be upon him, and by the revelations in the Holy Quran. First, I'd like to start on the Islamic economic system. The Islamic economic system is an amazing system, and it was started by the Prophet, may God's peace and prayers be upon him, when he was a trader in a very informal way, and then formally when he migrated to Medina or Yathrib. He woke up in the morning after he immigrated and he asked, where do you go and buy and sell? Where is your market? قالوا هذه سوق بني قينقاع حيث نشتري فيها ونبتاع. This is the market of an old tribe of the Jewish faith where we buy and sell. And the Prophet asked, how you conduct your business? Well, if you want to get in the market, you have to pay an admission fee, you have to pay a floor fee to put your merchandise, and then you have to pay a commission. The Prophet, may God's peace and prayers be upon him, turned his back to the market, and he pointed to a vacant piece of land, and he said, this is the market of the Muslims. Whoever comes earlier and sets up has the right to do this. To me, personally, being a student of economics and economic theory and finance, this is the first time ever the free market system has been pronounced. Maybe Mr. Adam Smith didn't know about it, but each and every Muslim and non-Muslim should know that the free market system has started in Medina by the Prophet, may God's peace and prayers be upon him. And it also recognizes that Islam is a process. It is not an event. By this I mean a process, it takes time. An event, it's a push button type thing. So first, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was trained to be known as a trustworthy trader, a person that was trusted on the assets and the trading and the sheep of the Arabian tribes, and in particular the trading of his wife later on, Sayyidah Khadija. And he was very successful and very productive in his trading activities. As a matter of fact, Sayyidah Khadija, his wife, was the financial supporter of the early Islamic movement. And the third thing was to reach the stage where you get to be trusted in your new community, such that you become the trusted person where people in the community deposit their savings, assets, not only that, but also their most confidential matters with you. And when that happens, then you have arrived. Then you gain the trust of the community. Then the community will come and ask you for advice, for consultation, and you become the holder of these assets, and you become able and capable of creating credit so you can develop the economy from a vision of believing La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. So this is what this whole thing is all about, and that is to develop a banking system that is operated and hopefully owned, majority owned, by people who have the vision, the commitment, and the belief in the oneness of God and the system of God, it being fair to people, of being honest on people's assets and property. So to me, an Islamic banking institution in this fourth pillar of Islam is an institution that is owned, operated, and serves the Muslim community. And it is a vehicle that intermediates between those who have money and those who have ideas for investments. So instead of those who have money and those who have ideas for investments interacting with each other directly, and if things don't work out, then you have havoc in the community, then the Islamic financial institution acts as an intermediary that would understand the risk profile of those who have the money, understand the investment characteristics of those who have the investment idea, and match these two such that the return would be acceptable and such that the losses would be minimized.